All right, welcome back to this workshop. It's been a little bit since I did a video. I've been busy doing stuff, but not doing stuff that would make fun videos. You know, I've been doing taxes and, trimming trees and fertilizing and stuff around the house, life. So I've been doing that stuff, working on some shorts on YouTube. And then the big thing is I've been working on getting my home decor products from my DOS Creations business up on Amazon Handmade. So I didn't know that was a thing, but Amazon has a whole division of handmade products from artisans and that kind of stuff. So I've been uploading stuff in there and realized when I was doing inventory at the store downtown that I was running out of some stuff. So I figured, well, I got to make some. So I'm going to bring you along on that journey. And I'm going to tweak the item a little bit because I think I can do better and I think I can make them quicker. And so I can make them more affordable. So time is money. So if I spend more time making something, I got to charge more. So I'm going to try to simplify my charcuterie boards. So I have two types. One is sold out, so I don't have any with me. But I think I got a stock photo from some product photos. So I'll stick that somewhere where it fits, doesn't cover my face. And then these are kind of the nicer version of that. So thicker product. The less expensive ones are a little more square, and they're the 1/2 inch thick product. These ones are 3/4 of an inch, so very durable, less prone to warpage. Love them. I like the design. It took a little while, and when I'm laying them out, I made it so, we do this, and when I put it on a board, the next one I can flip like that and cut around and save wood, because that's always a concern of mine too. So good use of the raw materials that you have, and you can be more economical with it. So I like the product. What I don't like is how long this takes. So it looks cool, I like it, but it takes a very long time. So I came up with a way to keep them fat, because I like that, they're durable, and make these faster. And what I came up with is basically this. So it's got a little thumb hole. It's easier to pick up off the table, so basically thumb, slide it to the edge of the table, and you're able to pick it up with one hand rather than trying to pick it up with two, which is nice to have the handles for. But simple, but I wanted the thickness. So I did a little prototype out of this MDF, so I like the bulk, the heft of it. That was a little thin, so I'm going to make it a little bit thicker, which is what I did here. So that's a little bit thicker, so hopefully a little bit stronger. In case you drop or something like that, that's the weak point. So anyway, got some 1x6x8s from the box store, dug through their whole pile and got 2 good pieces out of like a dozen. So, and one's cracked. So, anyway, you work with what you got. So we're going to make these look more like those. We're going to burn them too. So I do like that fractal pattern on there. So that's what I'm up to today. So we should be able to get 15, 16 out of here. Burn them, clean them, and then this is kitchen stuff. So I just like to put beeswax and oil and stuff on those. So anything in the kitchen, trivets, that kind of stuff. That way when it starts getting dry, you just recoat it, just like your cutting boards and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm up to today. So let's get started. Okay, so we're done sanding. Sanded both sides. I did one pass at 80 grit, second pass at like 150 grit. I don't go crazy because my stuff is kind of rustic. And this is going to be wet again and scrubbed, so the grain's going to pop and all that kind of stuff. So 120 grit, I want a nice surface that when I'm burning it, but then I am going to sand it again and clean up the burn and all that kind of stuff with a scrubby brush. So we're going to beat the wood up pretty good again. So I picked the sides that I like. I found a crack in one, this is why I mentioned 15 or 16, because I think I'm not going to have a full foot board at the end. But if I can get 10 inches out of it, I can use that for one of my coffee pour over stands, because those are 10-inch bases, not 12 like these boards are going to be. So think ahead, and I think I can salvage that for another project of mine. So let's get the solution on here. Made up a solution of baking soda and water, so we have something, the current to run through. So let's get on there, and we need to let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes, let it soak into the wood. and then we'll get burning. The fun part. So I put the solution on for 10 or 15 minutes, and then you test a little spot, see if it's soaked in enough kind of thing. So it's having a hard time starting, but I've done a little test spot. So looks like it's starting to carry the current through there and starting to burn. So let's burn the rest of these boards and get to there. Okay, so that went pretty good once we got going. Once I was going for a few minutes, it actually started burning better, which means that's the optimal time to let the solution soak into the wood. So looks pretty good. We got some good coverage. Always looks messy before we scrub it clean and sand it again, so let it dry. We gotta also bleach it because the baking soda pulls tannins and stuff out of the wood, so when this dries, it's going to be green and black and yucky. Typically, I'll grab these and run them in the sink inside, but it's a lovely day outside, and these boards are 8 feet long, not 4 feet long. So I'm going to grab the hose and scrub these in the yard. So let's do that real quick. Okay, got them all scrubbed down. I'm gonna let those dry, and then I need to bleach them. And I use hydrogen peroxide, and just spread it on and then let it dry off again. It'll take the color back out, and this is what I mean. You can see that section starting to dry, and you see that is kind of greenish brown. So, I'm not gonna make you watch that process, but I think I've shown that in some other videos. I think trivets and coasters and stuff. So we're just gonna get that done, let it dry, and then we'll probably tackle this again tomorrow. All right, well, I was gonna pick this up tomorrow, but the boards enjoyed their time outside. So sunshine and a nice breeze, who would have thought? So anyway, they dried much quicker than they normally do in my home. So sure was easy cleaning up as well. So I do it at the sink because it's kind of, I can do other things while I'm doing it, but it sure was nice just to get the hose and do it outside and make a mess and not worry about it. So anyway, here's how they're looking. So they are dried. They're no longer greenish. So haven't sanded them yet, so the patterns will come out even better once I sand them. But before I do all that, sometimes I sand the board as a long piece because it's easier. But I think I'm going to cut these into their final length and sand them individually because I've got a router profiles on both edges, like top and bottom. Drill a hole in the corner, route that out, all that kind of stuff. So the concern for me is if I drill a hole in the corner, which is an 1.25 inch hole, and I start routing it out and I catch something, it could split the wood, and I don't want to waste all that other time. So I'm going to do the routing, make sure that all goes well, and then I'm going to sand everything when I'm done. The other thing is, these are 8-foot boards, and I was going to do 1 foot by 5.5 inch charcuterie boards. So the width of a blade is 1/8 of an inch, so I can't quite do 12 inches. So I think I'm going to do 11 3/4. That gives me a chance to cut the factory end off, which they're almost never straight. So do that. I found a crack earlier that I pointed out. I'm glad I looked it over before because after putting all the water and everything on it, the wood swelled and you can't even see the crack anymore. So I know where it is and I marked it. So now I know I can't use the last 2 inches or so of that board. But yeah, the water just made it disappear. So look over your stuff before you get going. Anyway, so I'm going to cut the length and then we'll set up the drill holes. And you'll just see me do that. I don't think I have to explain anything from there. So let's get doing that. It's a new day, wardrobe change, that's how you can tell. So anyway, we got a lot done yesterday, more so than I thought because everything dried really well. So I think today we're gonna start with, I've got to brand the logo on the back of everything. And I think I'll do that before we sand because sometimes, you know, it's a hand process. You're guessing on how long to keep it on there. So if you overburn it, sometimes when you sand, it looks really good. So you get rid of the excess burn and it makes the logo stand out really well. So I think I'm gonna burn the logo on the back of everything, and then it's just sand, sand, sand. So that's going to be most of the time today is sanding everything to final sand, and then we're going to put some wax and oil on them, and they will be done and ready for sale. So let's get branding. done out in the workshop. So I figured I'd bring the project inside and into the kitchen, because that is the cleanest room in my house. So we're just going to add some wax or oil. So anything that you would typically put on a butcher block is what you could recoat these with. I do like to put a first coat on there because I do use kiln dried lumber, so it is super dry. It'll soak this first coat in really well. So, and also I don't put a ton on just because I don't want it super messy when people are handling it to, you know, at a show, or if I'm shipping it, the paper and stuff that I ship it in doesn't get super oily and stuff. So I put a coat on there, a light coat, and then the owner can do whatever they want with it. So anyway, so let's get a coat on there, and then we're done. Then we'll wrap stuff up. Well, I figured we'd do a little wrap up back in the shop while the charcuterie boards are drying inside. Those will dry for a couple days before I handle them again. But by the time this video drops, they'll probably be available on the Amazon Handmade website. And I'm going to throw a bunch of info at you real quick, but it's all going to be in links in the description. So this is why I haven't had videos up in a few weeks and why things have been so crazy. So if you like my shirts that I wear, those are on my Etsy store or my Etsy shop. There's also some of the handmade stuff that I make for DOS Creations on Etsy as well. I'm getting things up on my Amazon store, so look to the Amazon link for some of this stuff. And there's some things on there that are not on my Etsy store, like coffee pour over stand, that kind of stuff. And then I was in a really good place, and I was doing a video every week and getting on a nice run, and then some work stuff and taxes and all that kind of stuff kind of threw me for a loop. Spring hit here, and there's a bunch of stuff you got to do in the yard and all that kind of stuff. So I will do my best to get back on videos. They're going to be a little sporadic though. They're not going to be a weekly thing like they were before. So we'll do that. I've been working on shorts for YouTube, shorts for Instagram, trying to get some videos out. So lots of stuff going on, but business related stuff, and then just stuff around the house and everything that's not interesting to video and not interesting to do. So we're gonna let that stuff dry inside. I gotta go outside and mow the lawn after I get some food. But anyway, if you would check out that stuff, if you're interested in buying anything, I would appreciate it. If not, thanks for joining me, and I appreciate you watching the whole video and stuff. So like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.